this project, I'm using Let's Resin epoxy resin. And I picked up this mold on Amazon. I believe it's also available on TEMU. And I poured the resin into the holders. This is actually a holder that you make for the frame. With the remaining resin, I mixed in some unicorn gold mica powder. And this gold mica powder is so pretty. I've used it multiple times. I think I may have actually put too much in. It's very concentrated. And I mix that up, and there's actually a reservoir around the perimeter of this frame that you pour your frame into, the resin into. And you have to be very careful. You can see I've just poured it in way too fast. Maybe if it's in a little smaller container. And you pour it around the perimeter, and then this part has to completely dry before you can move on to the next step. So I actually let this sit overnight, and you have to completely clean up anything that got into the center, because the center part is going to be clear. In this instance, it's going to be clear. It doesn't have to be. And then the next day I came back with more Let's Resin epoxy resin, and I filled the center, and I poured enough so that it covered all over the top of the gold frame. So the very outside perimeter is higher than the inside perimeter of the frame. This entire frame is actually 5 by 7 inches. And this needs to set overnight to dry. Did use the kitchen torch, but you have to be super careful with it because it can damage your silicone molds. And then lastly, I spritzed some isopropyl alcohol on it, which will also help get rid of bubbles. So the next morning I demolded both, and I just think that's so cool. You have your own little miniature frame and holders for it. And you could actually just use the holder mold for other projects that you have, you know, if you have a small frame. And oval frames are so hard to find. That's why I just thought that was so cool, and I love oval frames. The next part of this project I'm actually doing with UV resin, and I poured a little bit of UV resin down at the bottom, and then I had some pretty blue and green beads that I put down on top of the UV resin. I had this adorable cat brooch that I had picked up on TEMU, and in order to get it to set flat, you have to remove the pin backing. You just have to be careful because I have actually broken some brooches taking that off, so you have to be real careful. And then I take the UV resin and I actually put it on the areas that stick out the most, the ones that are going to come in contact with the actual frame. And I just put it on those little areas, and then I set it down. And next I have a little piece of VITRIGRAPH glass that I'm going to use for the stem of this flower. And that flower is actually a earring, believe it or not. And I had to take the backing off that also. And the great thing about VITRIGRAPH glass is you can paint it any color you want. You can buy green for your stems, and then if you need it for whiskers or something else, you can just paint it. You can paint it with spray paint, you can paint it with acrylic paint. Acrylic paint isn't as shiny, but once you pour resin over it, it is shiny. And the thing is, I wished I had thought about it because I could have just used my paint marker to paint that, the oil-based gold marker. Next, I just started assembling the rest of the project. I had 2 pretty gold leaves that I put down. I had 3 real cute gold butterflies that I put down. And I had a bunch of little tiny flowers that I put down at the very bottom. And I attached all of this just with a little dot of UV resin. Then I put it under my Let's Resin UV light. And this is great because you can hit it from the bottom and the top. And I decided it needed a few more flowers. So those flowers are actually from TEMU, and those little metal pieces were actually from a garage sale that I had gone to a couple years ago. And that's where the butterflies were. And I added just a few more last minute flowers, and then it was done. And I think it turned out so cute. How it fits perfect in that little holder. Isn't that cute? So for this next one that I'm doing, actually the next two, I use these inclusions from Hobby Lobby. They're little shells and plastic starfish, and you see the sticker on it, $2.99. So if you ever see that sticker at Hobby Lobby, that means that's their everyday low price. So even when they have stuff at 40% off, like the inclusions, that does not go any lower. But isn't that cool? I thought that was so pretty, and I'm going to use that for the frame. So I just took a little bit of resin and put it down first, and then put all the little inclusions in the frame. Next, the resin that I had left, I mixed into 3 different cups with 3 different colors of mica powder, all kind of blue colors, and I put those down in the center. And you can do both the center and the outer portion at the same time, as long as you don't let it go over the inner lip. So after I spread that out, then I let both the outer and the inner set overnight. And the next morning I just came back with some clear resin and covered the entire top of it, just to top it off, because the outer rim is higher than the center rim. And then I let this set overnight. Now the second one that I end up doing the sailboat scene on, I don't know what I was thinking. I filled the whole inner part with clear. So I decided I'm going to have to use UV resin to finish it off. And I put some UV resin down at the bottom. That's actually the color caramel. And it really is not very dark, but I sprinkled some sand on it anyway and put it under the UV light to set. And then next I actually tried covering it with the light UV colored resins, but that blue just wasn't dark enough. So I mixed up some of my own resin, and I wanted to make a horizon line. So I put that resin tape strip of it over that. And I used some mica powder and some UV resin to make it a little darker of a blue for the sky. And I just went ahead and I painted that on. And it's in your best interest then at this point to remove the tape and put the light on it, because I didn't. I put the light on it at this point, and some of the UV resin had gone over onto the tape, and it actually cured, and I had to use a scissors to cut away at it to make the line. So if you do it this way, remove the tape right after you put the resin on before you set it with the UV light. And here I'm just putting some glitter on it and some more clear UV resin over it. And and then I put the light back on it again. So now here you're going to see me taking the tape off, and I have to use a little scissors to cut away at it. Well, first right here I'm mixing up a little darker resin for the water. And here I'm taking the tape off, and you can see the remnants of it. I had to use a scissors to get it off. So anyway, I'm putting the darker blue down, and then I use some clear UV resin to put in the center, and then I mix up a little greenish blue mica powder with some more UV resin and put that at the very bottom, and then kind of mix it all together. Again, set it with the UV light, and I did not film myself putting anything on these last two, but you can see them right now. Hey everyone, so these are the ones that I ended up doing, and I just think there are so many possibilities with this, so I just want to show you this up front. So this, see how it has the little reservoir around that, and it's lower on this side. So you have to fill this first with whatever you want. And then if you're wanting this clear, you could actually do this at the same time, the outer and the inner, as long as you don't go over, the top. And then you could actually cover the whole thing with a different color if you want. If you go on Amazon and look this up, they have another example where they do one and they use this for the center, the dried flowers, and I thought that would be real pretty too. But I have 5 cats, and I've never once done any cat project. So this is my first official cat project, and I think they're just so cute. And I really like oval frames, and you don't see oval frames very often. They're hard to find. And this one here, can you see the little things that I put in there? And those are from Hobby Lobby. They come in a little container like this. And what I was trying to tell you was when they have that yellow tag on it, that means that's their everyday low price. And when they hit, like when you go to the bead department and you buy beads, if they have the yellow tag on it and says all beads are 40% off, if it has the yellow tag, they don't discount it. So I don't know if you guys knew that, but still it was only $2.99, and I could have got 3 frames out of it. I only got 2 because by accident I dumped them on the ground, and I wasn't there. They're so teeny tiny I didn't want to pick them all up, so I vacuumed them up. But I did do 2 frames out of those, and I might have been even able to get more because I do have some of the little shells that I could have used. But you could put anything. I saw it with glitter. And anyway, I just thought they were so cute. Now this one, I made a mistake. I poured clear on it. I thought, oh, that was dumb. I should have done the blue. So I ended up using UV resin to do the front of this and attached all these extras with UV resin. But you could actually, in the back of yours, like when you're filling this, you could put your blues, and you could even put some sand down at the bottom of it. But then the other thing is, I think these little holders are so cool. It comes with a holder too. So, and I mean, you could just keep this out. Excuse me. You could just keep this out, you know, on your resin table. And whenever you have a little more resin, dump in here, because we always need a little holder to hold a little frame down. So anyway, so on, let's see, I think I got this on TEMU. And on TEMU, it's just under $5, and you have a choice between, you could either get this one or the rectangular one. There might be one other. And they also have it on Amazon for the same price. The only difference is you have to, at least all I could see was, it was an oval and the rectangular one for just under $10. So you're really paying the same price, only you have to buy 2. So, and you know, also came with the holder and that. But anyway, I think these turned out so cute. I don't know. I'm always looking for oval frames or different kinds of frames at garage sales. And I just thought this would be real cool, especially if you sell your art in that, because it comes with its own little stand. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the project. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. That really helps the channel. If you enjoyed the channel, go ahead and subscribe. That really helps the channel. We have the Facebook group going, an amazing group of people displaying their beautiful artwork, and very, very helpful. And I hope you guys all have a great day. Thanks for watching.